And today I want to talk about programming a song. So I'm really excited about doing this. This is a big part of Houston Levy, and this is how our worship services are done here. So we actually have a sequence list set up for each song. And our two fast songs are time songs or time code, whichever we pick for that weekend. And then really our slower half of worship are just go cues. So just to look at it really quick, here on the middle screen, if I select this list for This Is Living, and then we go to our sequence list right here, you'll see that this is our list. And we have abbreviations and everything on here for the song. You know, we have intro, but then we have a V1, which means verse 1, and then verse 1 second half. PC means pre-chorus, and then C means chorus. V2 means verse 2, and then going down, I mean, I'll throw in different things. Oh, and then B means bridge, and then PC build, it's pre-chorus build. So every song is different. I mean, you're going to see a different layout for every song. Sometimes it jumps from a verse straight to a chorus. Sometimes there's more instrumentals. It's just different. So that's the beauty of each song. So you'll notice right here that also says time for these cues, Q4 through 16. So our first three cues are go cues. So as soon as you hit go on this first verse, it's going to start counting down to the next cue, which is going to be Q4 right here. And you'll see in this window right here, kind of an orange time bar, and it will tell you when it's going to go to that next cue. If we go over to program right here, we can get really detailed with this whole sequence. I mean, you have a lot of different options going through right here. I mean, you can go through individual fade times for, you know, a certain group of lights and everything. Your lights can take different paths, you know, like it's smooth or if it stops pretty quickly. Commands right here. You can make your own kind of view right here as well. You have loops, command delays, move in black, which we'll get to later on. And then so for our time cues, you have trigger time right here, or trig time. And this is where you plug in all of your time cues. So you see right here that this is pretty generic. Each cue is almost 15 seconds, really. And so the way I do this is really with a stopwatch. I use my iPhone, basically, and I'll you know, do a stopwatch for each part of the song. So I'm hitting the lap button on the phone each time it goes into these different cues right here. So I'm listening to the song or the track and going through each part. And so the reason we start out on verse 1 is because we want you to hit the start cue and then the intro cue. Sometimes the intro can come in so quick that you barely got done with the last song, and by the time the band's in the intro, you might be, you know, a half measure or full measure late getting into the intro. So by the time verse 1 hits, you're good to go, and verse 1 is going to start the cues. So it's usually Q3 that starts the time cues. And it's going to go all the way through the end to the crash cue or end cue, and then you're back into your regular go cues. And so going back into this run, so again, if you switch over to program, that means program abbreviated. This is where you're going to plug in all your times for each time cue. And we'll go back to run to just our main views and everything. This is where you're going to plug in your command. So every time you come in and plug in these songs, let's say this is song 1, which it is right now. It's always going to be on Executor 16, at least it is here at Houston Levy. It can be on any Executor. You can put it on Executor 45 if you want to, and then have it jump to Executor 23. Just, you know, we wouldn't be random like that, but that's the beauty of commands. I mean, it can really help you out. So I know Germantown Parkway and Highland are going to be different as far as like what executors you use for these songs, you know, once we start programming songs out there. But for here at Houston Levy, we always put song 1 on Executor 16 since we have a full size and everything's on one page basically. So to type this in, you can use your Executor key and some other quick keys on your actual console, or you can just simply type it in, Executor 16 at 100, fade 0. And you have to put spaces. If you don't put spaces, then it won't recognize the command. And Executor 21, again, that is our group master that contains all of our effects lighting. And basically, when you bring that up to 100%, each intensity of each light or group of lights is stored in these cues right here. So on Q1, if you bring up Executor 21 on Q1, you're probably not going to see any intensities because I don't have any intensities stored in this cue. And then once intro comes in, some intensities will start to come in on certain groups of lights. We like to use this just because it makes for clean transitions just in case you hit a cue prematurely. Sometimes it's not necessary, but I mean, it's really worked out for us to have group masters, and it just, again, it helps with smooth transitions. And at the end of the song, you'll have another cue that says Executor 21 at 0, fade 3 seconds. And again, you can have this group master live anywhere at other campuses. It doesn't have to be on Executor 21. It could be on any executor. And then for our last command, we have our, it says select Executor 17, which is going to the second song, and then it says go to Q1, and then it'll say Executor 16 at 0. And we also have this release function in here. So release will turn off the executor once it's done loading, and I don't know why there's 5 seconds right here on this cue. Each off cue should be 0 seconds because the end cue is what fades out your intensities and fades out Executor 21. So this can be 0 right here, and it will shut off as soon as this cue is done. So what we're going to do now, we're going to jump into actually programming a song. So let's go to the next video.